Really Reviews.
Nico, how's it going? We just had a nice, fun conversation.
We always have a conversation beforehand, and then you go, how's it going?
Yeah.
As if I always wonder how many other podcasts do that. Like, when they start with their little intros, and then they go, so, man, how are you? As if they didn't just, invite their guest in.
It's definitely a fake how are you doing. That's how it goes.
I'm just curious. But anyways.
We saw Dumb Money yesterday.
We've been gone for a month.
We've been gone for a month. Yeah, there haven't been too many exciting releases in that time.
Saw X.
Well, that comes out this weekend, I think.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, yeah, there haven't been too many, super exciting releases, but we're back with Dumb Money. We're both sort of interested in this for a couple of reasons. It's an interesting topic, which we can get into, and then the cast is great. So
okay, Dumb Money.
Yeah, if you want to read out the cast.
I'm not gonna read the little script, but it came out September 15th, directed by Craig Gillespie. $30 million budget by Sony Pictures. Your cast is Paul Dano, Shailene Woodley, Seth Rogen, Pete Davidson, Sebastian Stan, Talia Ryder, America Ferrera.
Yeah, some pretty big names. Names that have done a lot of stuff recently that may or may not have been on your radar, but a lot of big budget stuff over the last couple of years.
There's an Oppenheimer casting person in here, Dane DeHaan, the guy who plays he plays Harry Osborn in the Amazing Spider-Man series, which we will review at some point.
Yeah, sure.
Nick Offerman, fucking huge cast.
Yeah. And so it is, I'll get into a synopsis kind of.
Sure.
It's about the GameStop and AMC, but the movie really focuses on GameStop. The GameStop short squeeze that happened in 2021. It was mid-pandemic, and it sort of, the movie pits, just to boil it down, it pits hedge fund managers against Reddit users, retail investors, using Robinhood and other accessible apps for people with not huge income levels to be able to invest in stocks. So it essentially, the financial explanation of it is the hedge fund managers were taking huge short positions on GameStop, essentially betting on the stock to fail. They thought the company was a piece of shit and they wanted it to go down so they could make money on that. And what the retail investors did was, sort of led by one guy played by Paul Dano, they thought it was going to go up. They thought that it was undervalued, and they wanted to combat the huge short position by taking huge long positions, so buying the stock, essentially betting on the value to go up. And it created this big Reddit mania that skyrocketed the value of the stock to, I think it was around $300 at its peak? I think it was. I think it went from $3, like a penny stock at $3 to
I don't know
$300
any of the stock
something.
prices. I just know this was a big deal that Wall Street was losing billions.
Yeah, but there's all the inner workings of that, and it's a cool story. It was a cool story when it was happening in the news. I was following it. I'm interested in this stuff. I study finance in school, and I invest, so I'm interested in this stuff. Yeah,
Nick is a cool guy. Nick is a cool guy.
But the movie I thought did it really well, just explaining that in layman's terms in a lot of ways, and then also just sort of being a very entertaining, fast-paced sort of comedy, real life comedy biopic type thing about this guy who sort of led this Reddit army.
Roaring Kitty?
Yeah, his name's Roaring Kitty. I think Keith Gill is his name. So yeah, that's my synopsis. I know I went a little long on it, but yeah, what did you like about the movie, Nico?
Paul Dano.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, I was making a face while you were reading that whole thing because there's a movie called The Guilty. I clicked on his movies because I wanted to ask you at some point in this podcast, we can ask it now, of some of your favorite Paul Dano roles.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just scrolling through and I found that he is in this movie called The Guilty, which stars what's his face? Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's basically just Jake Gyllenhaal. He's like a 911 operator.
Oh,
he's just in a room. The whole movie is just him taking a phone call in the room. But I didn't know he was in this movie. Anywho, yeah, with his There Will Be Blood, The Batman, Prisoners, Fablemans.
I have also
so
seen
many
him in
others.
Swiss Army Man. I think Swiss Army Man might be the only other one I've seen him in a leading role in.
Okay.
And he was really good in that. That was the Daniels film prior to Everything Everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Allegedly, he's in 12 Years a Slave as well.
Okay. Yeah, he's great. Like
Bong Joon-ho's Okja.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how you read it.
I haven't seen it, but he's great in this too. Like he's, I think, deserving of the leading role, and he's playing kind of a meme character. I would describe the whole movie as a meme movie, like even the way it's edited. Which
the editing was pretty funny.
yeah,
I thought it. I liked.
Did you like it?
I liked it. It was different.
It was different, but I see it everywhere. Like it's different for a movie. I've never seen it in like a feature film like movie. This, but I've seen it on YouTube. Like there was almost some like YouTube style editing, Reddit style editing, which was cool.
The only thing I could say similar is like documentaries.
Yeah,
if they have like compilations of, like when they show like murder docs, murder series, they'll show like if some suspect was posting online all of their things, all of the victims' posts and stuff like that. And that's like the closest comparison I can come to. Obviously not the same subject matter, but you know what I mean?
Well, it's another thing of it, like it is sort of this movie is a time capsule. Like you'll be able to go watch this 5 years from now, 10 years from now and be like, oh, that's how people interacted in the real world on the internet, like with these types of things. So, and I think it was relevant to the story. It was cool.
But yeah, do you have a favorite Paul Dano role?
I mean, my favorite Paul Dano role is probably There Will Be Blood, but
not Prisoners.
No, I mean he's just getting beat up the whole time.
Oh my god, but it's so good.
He's good, but like yeah, probably There Will Be Blood.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll take that.
But he was really good in this. Like I think the movie doesn't work without him being perfect as the lead. It's kind of a weird guy, and I'm curious. Like it's based on a true story, but the guy seems like he kind of went private after this whole craze. Like he didn't really post anything on the internet after this. So like I don't know how much of this was just created. I'm guessing a lot of it was just Paul Dano taking creative liberties. Yeah. Or the writing team.
Before coming into this movie, I searched it last week when we were trying to find a time to watch it, and I think I read that it just said based on a true story, but it didn't say anything. Like I couldn't find anything too telling about who the main character is and if he was a real person. But I also didn't look very hard. Like I just looked at the first page of Google and I was like, okay, this is enough.
Yeah,
I just need to know if it's like based on a true story or if it's just some fictionalized.
I'm just curious. I know like all of his YouTube videos and stuff are still out there, I think, but I'm just curious.
Oh, really?
I'm curious how much it was just based on his internet personality, the character, or how much extra research they did, whether they interviewed him or his family or whoever else. But
yeah,
either way, the result was pretty good.
Sorry, I'm also curious because they show us like 5 different characters through the movie, right? Or 5 other people who are following the trend.
Yeah, and they make money.
Yeah. I'm curious if any of those people also had stories that were at all true, or if it was just fictionalized. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just fictionalized versions of
I'm guessing it's loosely based on users, or it's just fictionalized stuff. That's what I'm guessing.
That's what I would guess too. Yeah. But it'd be cool. It'd be cool to find out if any of those were real. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a lot of like the little guy. A GameStop employee was one of the characters. Like 2 college student girls that are in massive debt, tuition debt, and then a mom who, like a single mom who works as a nurse at a hospital. It was like the little guy against the big hedge fund is the main story here, and it was the main story of this when it was going down, and I thought that they nailed that part of the movie.
Yeah. I thought the music was a bit obnoxious at times.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely fit the meme theme of the movie, but it was a little annoying.
I was like, I get it.
Just think of popular like TikTok music and like stuff that like 13-year-olds are really like jamming out to nowadays. That's probably, am I right about that? Like that was the music.
Some of it, yeah. But it's shot really well.
Yeah.
I think the writing was pretty good. They could have like explained I think they could have done. Maybe they don't have to do complete layman's, but layman's would be nice if they could have explained some of the Robinhood transactional stuff.
Yeah, I didn't like the way that they did that.
They just kind of glossed it really briefly,
and it's kind of a big part of the movie still. Like they make a big point to, and I think they explained the like why it was bad when they shut down selling of shares that one day.
No,
buying. Yeah, they shut down buying of shares of GameStop that on one trading day, and they explained that part well, but they didn't explain what's sort of shady about Robinhood presenting itself as a free brokerage platform. It's really not free. It has no commissions on trading, but like it has a huge bid-ask spread that they make a ton of money on, and they didn't explain that well.
Yeah, I didn't understand any of it. I just assumed they took some small fee. Like if you have Venmo and you're trying to transfer your money to your bank, you know how they take off a fee if you want to do it soon. I assumed it's something similar to that, right? Yeah,
it's essentially you're buying the price from Robinhood. They're buying the stock at a price from Robinhood at higher than what the market value of that is. So they're making like a couple of cents or a few cents on each trade.
Okay.
Because they have a huge bid-ask spread. Now, like, traditionally you would just pay a little fee on every transaction for a traditional brokerage firm. But like now the commissions free trading thing is commissions free. It's not commissions free. You're paying a few cent, like, I guess, premium on it to buy the stock. But like, yeah, they kind of glossed over that. And I also said this when I got out, and you guys didn't really feel this way, but I felt some of the explanation of like shorting, the hedge funds shorting. I thought some of the explanation of just like the investing methodology was a little repetitive, but
it was
for people who don't know about this stuff. Like, it might have been good or helpful.
It was fine. It's like, so I had taken personal finance in high school, just one class, which that doesn't really teach so much. I still don't.
But you still probably know a lot more than a lot of people do.
I would hope, but actually no, I would hope not, because I've only taken
I know
one
it's
class.
This stuff isn't talked about enough. I wish it was talked about more enough. Like, that's one of the good things about this movie. I think.
So can you teach me, Nick, very briefly in layman's, what a short is? I understand it's like you're betting against a company. So in this case, GameStop at the time, I don't even know, maybe still now, they're like kind of going out of business, similar to Blockbuster and all those, and you're betting against it. But how do you bet against a company?
So you're buying the rights to sell at today's price when it reaches a lower price. So if GameStop's at $10 today, you're buying the rights to sell it at $10 if it reaches $5 in a certain time period. So let's say today's October 2nd. I want to short GameStop. It's at $10. I'm just making up numbers. I want to short it to $5 by the end of the month, and so I'll have the right to sell it back at $10. So I can make $5.
So at any time that the value is dipping, I can just sell it back out.
Yeah, you're making that difference.
Okay.
So you're just essentially betting on it to fail. But like, again, I thought the movie, it kind of explained that, but like it kind of explained it in a repetitive way, but it didn't even do that great of a job.
Well, neither did personal finance.
Well, yeah.
So but like, yeah, there were some things they could have explained it just a little bit better.
They also had some of the people that were lower net worth. They were buying call options, which is an even more complicated thing.
They didn't explain what call options were. I just said whatever.
I think you're just taking on more debt. Essentially, it's like they kind of dived into them a little bit, but it didn't really fully explain things.
Yeah. So at some point, I just kind of let go, and I said, whatever. I trust the movie. I trust the writing.
Yeah.
It makes enough sense. But
yeah, my only other worry with them not explaining things very well is for people who are just into movies or into this cast of people who are going to go see this movie for whatever other interest area of it. Like, I'm a little worried that people look at these investing strategies from the movie and they're like, this is how you're supposed to invest. It's like, no, I think a lot of the things that happen in this movie, both the things that the hedge fund managers do, the logic with their investing, and the thing that Kitty does, like, those are not sound investing strategies. Like, it's oftentimes gambling. I mean, the Reddit board is called Wall Street Bets. Like, it's gambling. Bets. Like, this is not like a sound way to invest, in my opinion. And I think that's like a little bit of a concern for me, just like spreading those ideas to a general public that doesn't really know anything about investing. I think a lot of people are going to see this movie and they don't know anything about investing.
Yeah.
So,
but at the same time, I liked that they showed what each of those 5 other characters, like what happened to them, and how the nurse, she had put like all of her savings into it. I forget how much it was. I think she started with like 46,000, and she got all the way up to like 500,000, and then she still held, and now she's in the red, like negative $15,000 because she still thinks she's still optimistic about something that is just a bubble. It's just a craze.
It was just a short squeeze, which the short squeeze is interesting. It's interesting. Like the movie explained that well. I thought like they usually never work, but and this is one of the cases that it did. And
I liked,
the hedge funds got screwed.
They did, and I liked Seth Rogen's like, no, he's just had this laid back mentality. He's like, nah, these never work. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Which historically he would be correct. Right,
like a lot of time, like short squeezes on this scale don't happen. But it worked. It worked this one time, so maybe it could work again. And I think that's generally good for the common man, for the layman, for the normal non-Wall Street person. Like it's good that the hedge funds are a little scared because they should be.
Well, other things that I think this movie did well, the comedy was really good.
Yeah.
There was plenty of things to laugh at. Even if there were things that you would find like, okay, this is kind of cringe. This is kind of weird.
It was immature humor. But
there was some immature humor, but like the rest, there's just a bunch of funny sequences that go on through the movie.
Yeah.
I think it did a pretty good job pacing itself. I don't think there was anything that I was like, besides maybe some explanations.
I think a little bit in the beginning, it was a little slow, but I told you guys, I thought the last hour was pretty fast-paced.
Yeah, what did you not like about the beginning?
I think just the character introductions were a little longer than they needed to be. Because they weren't, because you said this too, like some of the characters were not that important. They were literally just there to show an example of what was happening.
It just seemed a little bit dull. Like there were a few characters they didn't do anything with.
Yeah. And
I think, like the best example I have is like, Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins, when like Bruce Wayne, he gives the guy the jacket, or the guy says like, hey, nice coat, and then he gives the guy the jacket, and then he comes and sees that homeless guy again, and then he's dressed as Batman, and he goes, hey, nice coat. They could have just done something like similar in time. They just show a snapshot of Amy 123, and then they just show a snapshot of her at the end, or what her final result is.
Exactly.
I think they could have done that, and that maybe would have been a bit similar. I don't think it would have really taken much away from the film.
Yeah, there was a little too much. I thought like you could have done it simpler.
But I thought the college girls, what they did do a good job about was showing with them like their uncertainty in the market, and they're like, well, shit, if Wall Street bets is shut down, I don't know if we sell or if we hold or what we do. They did it with the nurse as well, who's played by America Ferrera, and then the GameStop employee, and he's talking to his parents, but like those 3 sequences I don't think add up to more than 4 minutes in the whole movie. Yeah,
but that was like a pivotal moment, and it was good. And spend more time on that than some of the other nonsense.
Yeah,
would have been just cut away some of the fat.
Or they could have showed a bit more of Kitty talking with that dialogue with his family when he is up a big number. I'm not going to say how much because we're not in spoilers or anything, but
he really was the most interesting character in the movie.
They didn't show more about that. Like, do we just sell? Do we hold? What do we do? And even the wife, who's played by Shailene Woodley, she's like, that's a lot of money, though. So, maybe.
Yeah, we were talking about it. We can talk about it in spoilers. Like, at certain points in the movie, what would we do?
Yeah.
If we were in his shoes. And I definitely would choose to go a lot safer than he did. But
yeah, I would have sold a lot sooner.
Yeah.
But, okay. Do you want to give it a score? Or is there any other main categories that we're forgetting here?
I don't think so. I think...
Music, pacing, characters.
Yeah, I
writing.
think I just wanted to mention like stuff. If you saw Blackberry and liked that, what was the other movie we were kind of comparing it to?
I don't think I said Social Network, did I?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, Big Short is kind of like this too.
Yeah. So if you like any of those movies and you're interested in that stuff, this is up your alley. And I'd say it's worth price of admission. Would you agree?
We paid I paid $7.50. He's got a membership, but
yeah,
I'd pay honestly like $10 to go see this.
Yeah, I'd pay $10. I'd pay standard. I'd pay standard. Yeah, I'll give it a 7-8.
Okay.
Like, it was good. I enjoyed it. I don't think I'd see it again, though. Like, I think I got the gist of it.
Yeah, this seems like a one and done kind of movie.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't know if there's much replay value. Maybe there is. Maybe I revisit this at some point. I don't know when. But
maybe 10 years. It's like, it's a time capsule thing. Like, it kind of is. It's like, oh, this
Yeah.
went on during the pandemic, during all this
but
stuff.
it's not like No Country for Old Men. When I first watched that, I was like, damn, I'm going to watch this.
Yep.
I don't know how many times or when I'm going to next watch it, but I'll watch it again. But I think I'll go 7-9, like just barely under 8. Because I said yesterday on the drive back, I was like, it's like 8-ish.
Yeah.
But it didn't really wow me. There wasn't anything fantastic or super innovative, besides maybe some of the editing.
Yeah.
But
And I can't say I wasn't entertained. I was entertained the whole time.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I still had a fun time.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have a life-changing experience watching this.
Yeah. So for spoilers now, do you just want to talk about sort of what he made? I think that's really like the only spoiler.
The spoiler...
I think he made like 50 million. I think that was like when he stopped going public with his posts on Reddit or whatever. He was up like 50 some million.
Is that right?
I think so. I
Was
mean, we don't
50?
know if he sold, but he made 50 some million.
I thought they said 34.
I thought he was up 34 like at a... I don't know.
I don't remember.
Actually, I'm going to Google it real quick, but...
But I know that...
Let me ask you this, and like also for your rationale while I'm Googling this. There's a point in the movie where he's making a decision sort of with his wife and his family what to do, whether to sell or to hold.
Is this at dinner?
He was up 11 million by that point.
No.
Would you hold or would you sell?
No, he was up 11.5 when he's driving somewhere with his wife. And then he's up 23 when he goes later on to go with his family and have dinner.
Yeah. So what would
I would
you
have
do?
sold at 11.
Yeah.
I would have easily sold at 11. I'm going to pay my taxes. Please, IRS, do not look into me for any reason. But I would pay my taxes. And then with $11 million, whatever's remaining, I'm pumping so much of that into the stock market, into just very safe options. Because that's life-changing money.
Yeah, there's something here, just the first Google search said 47.9 million.
Okay, sure.
Was what he...
Sure, so 50.
Yeah, that is crazy. But we don't know because he stopped going public. That was one of the interesting things too that they didn't.
Oh, that he just completely fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, he just stopped, and I understand it. Like he got like a subpoena from Congress to appear, and he had to give a statement regarding the whole thing. Like I think at a certain point it just blew up too much when he was just a small guy who was sort of Wall Street adjacent, interested in investing in stocks, and it just blew up like crazy. And I think he didn't want that spotlight. Probably.
Yeah. Well, he also lost his job at Mass Mutual. They're like, hey, we're going to fire you or you have to resign.
Yeah.
You don't have any other options.
Yeah.
But when you're up 23 million, it doesn't matter. So.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What would you do? Would you...
First, I would never get in on it in the first place.
Okay.
Like, I just have to say, like, I'm not smart enough to see when a meme trend like this is coming. And so I wouldn't do it. And I think it's too risky. Like GameStop is a failing company. Like there's a reason that those hedge funds took short positions.
Yeah.
But
like it certainly helped those hedge funds when new generations of consoles came out and you could buy things digitally. Less people were going to GameStop. Less people were going to AMC when streaming became more popular for TV and movies.
That being said, it was a penny stock. You know, it probably shouldn't have been that low considering how many retail locations they still had and they still had revenue generation. But, like, no. I mean, if I was somehow in his position, I would have sold at the first time I saw probably, like, millions of dollars. Like, yeah, I'd probably sell at $5 million. Like, I would ride it for a little bit and get out.
Here.
You know?
If you get to over $100,000, because they said he initially...
Well, he put in 50.
He put in 53.
Yeah. But then he doubled down. I think, and
Okay.
even put in even
Okay.
more.
Let's say you're making $500,000 profit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm probably getting out.
You're getting out right
yeah,
then, right?
probably, yeah.
Okay.
I don't have the risk tolerance of a Wall Street bet.
Yeah.
So.
To hold.
Yeah.
User balls.
Yeah. Balls. Yeah. Pete Davidson was really funny in this movie.
Yeah, for how
It was
much
a good complimentary role.
I'm not sure how much I like Pete Davidson in general. He was pretty good in this movie.
Yeah, he was funny.
But
Paul Dano was funny too. There were just so many signature moments of just like Paul Dano just like looking at the camera or like just looking off to the side or just walking somewhere, and it's just hilarious. Just seeing him exist as a human is just funny to me.
the way he was running,
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's like he was it was just it was just a funny movie. It was good. It was entertaining. If you're interested in this stuff, go see it.
Yeah, go watch it. Worth
Yeah.
price of admission.
Anything else?
We may watch The Creator.
Yeah, that'll be coming up soon.
Maybe.
And then a plethora of horror movies are coming out this month. We may go see those. I'm not going to promise anything on those.
Yeah. Otherwise, Napoleon, The Killer.
Yeah,
I don't know who else comes out.
Killers of the Flower Moon's at the end of the month. But
Yes.
that's like sort of on
We
the
will
horizon.
definitely see that Scorsese movie.
Yep.
Anyways, I don't have anything else.
All right, cool. Thank you for watching.